know that's based on an engineering study.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today is March 7th, 2022, and we'll call this meeting order at 7:41 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell.
Here.
Trustee Juarez.
Here.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Here.
Trustee Murphy.
Here.
Trustee Navas Barza.
Here.
Trustee Peretta.
Here.
Mayor Ryan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so officers' reports, starting with mine. I just let everybody know I was on a legislative call this afternoon, and still no movement yet on the state, by the state, regarding our LGDF. That's our local government distribution. Sorry, let me start over. Local government distributive fund, meaning our tax money that comes back from the state. A few years back, that was at 10%. Now we're down to about 5%. And the South Suburban Mayors and Managers, that organization that we're a member of, is our Council of Government, is requesting that they reinstate at least 3% more to bring it up to 8%. There's been no movement at downstate in Springfield, and actually South Suburban Mayors and Managers said that our interest in the Southland governments represents about $28 million that we're looking to get from the state returned back to local government. So if and when that happens, I'll certainly let everyone know then too. Outside of that, we'll start with the reports on your agenda tonight. First on mine was the approval of an ordinance annexing approximately 1.73 acres of territory to the Village of Alsip, Cook County, State of Illinois. The address on that would be 4134 and
4140 through 4144.
Right, I'm sorry, 4140 through 4144 West 127th Street. Good. Let's see. 4140 through 4144. Okay. Next, we had the report from the village clerk, Clerk Harding.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of the February 21st, 2022 board meeting minutes, presentation and approval of February 28th, 2022 committee meeting minutes, presentation and approval of February 28th, 2022 special board meeting minutes, and presentation and approval of February 28th, 2022 finance committee meeting minutes, and the presentation and approval of January 2022 motor fuel allotment in the amount of $65,574.52. And that is all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. We have the attorney's report. We have Joe Kankar with us.
I have no report, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Next, we'll have the engineer's report. Will Dolan.
Thanks, Mayor. I have an approval of a resolution for a request made to the County of Cook, Illinois for Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds for program year 2022 in the amount of $400,000 for the 2022 street resurfacing. I have an approval of a resolution for the acknowledgement of future local match funds in the amount of $103,600 for the Costner Avenue STP improvements from 123rd Street to 127th Street. And I have an approval of a resolution of the Village of Alsip authorizing the execution of an application for the Invest in Cook grant program.
Well, could you give everybody just a quick overview? First, the funding for the STP, that's the Surface Transportation Program, right?
Right, that's the federal funding through the Southwest Conference and CMAP.
That's right. That's through Southwest Conference of Mayors.
Correct.
Okay.
Those funds are limited to FAU routes. The village has done a pretty good job of improving most of the eligible FAU routes in the village, and this is the last segment, actually. So we've done Central, 122nd, 119th, the north half of Costner, The rest of the FAU routes are either under the jurisdiction of IDOT, Chicago, or Cook County. So we wouldn't really spend the village's money to improve those streets. Well,
Well, like you said, 123rd to 127th of Costner is the only street left qualified for this program.
Correct.
Right. And then, on the last one, the resolution authorizing the execution and application of Invest in Cook. Can you tell everybody real quick what that is again then, too?
Sure. That's an application through Cook County for their Invest in Cook program. What we're looking to do is resurfacing the Lombard industrial area, so that's Lombard, 126th Street, 124th Place, and Kedville, along with some sidewalk to connect to the Pace bus stop that's right there at Pulaski and 126.
Okay. Very good. Thanks, Will. We have the public forum. Did anyone in the audience wish to address the board tonight? Sir? Sure. You know what, do we have,
I don't know how to
Is
turn it
that-
on.
you turn that on for him, please? We were, you know what, sir, you're not on camera. I know, I understand, but we're on camera. We just need this for our records, that's all. You got to put it up kind of close to you.
You there?
Very good, yep.
Hi, my name is Lauren Critchett, my wife Leslie. I live at 4144 West 127th Street, one of the properties that you guys want to annex.
Okay,
As you all may or may not know, my family's been part of this village for well over 50 years. This house is probably one of the oldest structures in the village. It is 2 parcels of property. It's been in my family since the early 70s. Recently, Mr. Whittingham, who was our neighbor at 4134, approached us about a year ago. He wanted to buy one piece of property because he wanted to expand his business. It has turned our lives and our business a little bit upside down. As far as it being unincorporated Cook County, we were never aware of it until the last couple election cycles ago is when I became aware of it, when I came to vote for the village, and I was given a Worth Township ballot and not a Village of Alsip ballot. Whereas most of my life, I always voted as Village of Alsip. Well, they recently purged the voter rolls, and that's how that got straightened out. Now, I assumed that the village and everyone was unaware that our properties were unincorporated until Mr. Whittingham bought the property, and now he's got these plans to expand, and he knocked down the building. I have no problem with you guys annexing my property. I love the village of Alsip. It's a great little town. We've always been good neighbors with the village our whole lives. Our business has been there, but now we have had to move the business because we sold the property. I've often used fire and police in this town, and they are impeccable services. I got no problem with that. My questions and concerns are, one, that you're not gonna change the zoning of the property, and two, that I can continue, even though the business has moved, we're in a much smaller place, and I just still need to park some of my equipment in the rear. And I don't think we've been bothering any of the neighbors in the 50 years that we've been there. And those are my concerns. I'm also concerned about my taxes going up, but I understand I gotta pay for the village of Alsip, which I'm okay with that. But just a year ago, my Cook County taxes doubled in 1 year. They doubled. So I am concerned what this is going to do to my taxes. But by the same token, I have no problem paying the village of Alsip for the services I receive, because, you know, they're great. Fire chief's great, police are great, and the village is great. Every time over the years, anything we've ever done, when I put a fence up, I got a permit from the village of Alsip. When I sided my house, I got a permit from the village of Alsip. When I expanded my garage, I got a permit from the village of Alsip. I never got permits from the county of Cook. It's always gone through the village of Alsip. We've always purchased vehicle stickers from the village of Alsip for all our equipment for the last 50 years. Up until now, a year ago, we're getting letters from Cook County wanting us to purchase stickers from them. But anyhow, I just wanted to make myself heard that I'm okay with you guys annexing the property. Just so long as it doesn't, you don't mess with the zoning or change anything, or if it's gonna change what I've been doing for the last 50 years.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks, Mr. Critch, I appreciate it, yeah.
Sir, could you sign in, please?
Oh, yeah. Got to do my job. It's been a while since I've been here.
We're not addressing any of that right now.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be a legal then. As long as his use was legal at the county level, it'll be legal.
Yeah, I know. I know. Can anyone answer, what will it do to my taxes, percentage-wise?
You know what, Mr. Critchett, that's always on the, I hate to say it, but it's always on the county, with the assessor's office all the time, as far as, my guess is, because I did look up your records, and I saw what happened, how they increased your taxes.
Yeah, they
And-
doubled them.
Yeah, I saw. And it certainly had nothing to, let's put it this way, we didn't have it, I know I didn't, and nobody here made a call or, institute something like that, but my guess is that, maybe when the property next door, when that transaction went down,
Right.
it might have triggered a reassessment at that point, but the county's got those kind of dates all laid out when they come to different areas to do those kind of things. It could have been a coincidence, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But it's not really, let's put it this way, as far as zoning goes, that's what Joe and I were just talking about, it's, it might be what's called like a non-conforming use, but it's nothing that we're pursuing, to rezone you and stuff like that, so.
Because it's the last piece of property in the Southland that's still zoned agricultural.
And if the county's not taking issue with that, we don't really have standing with that. I mean, in other words,
It's
that's,
a 100-year-old farmhouse.
right. I saw it. It was-
The two houses, the one
that
that he
one was-
practiced in,
Unbelievable
you
how well
the
that was
whole,
built.
what is now the industrial park from 127th to the tracks to Pulaski to the high tension wires, that was the farm.
Built in 1929, I saw, yeah.
23.
Of 23, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, sir, for coming out to, at least express your concerns about it and stuff. We appreciate
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Sure, sure.
I love this town, I've been here my whole life.
Thanks. Anybody else need to address the board tonight, too? Okay. Then we'll go on to our standing committee reports. Finance and IT, trustee McGlohorn.
I'll start with a request for approval of a list of payroll dated February 25th, 2022, totaling $402,440.43. Next, I have a request for approval of a list of accounts payable dated March 7th, 2022. From the recap, General Fund, $1,525,649.55. Road and Bridge, $40,908.59. MFT, $8,175.04. Liability and workers' comp insurance, $38,929 even. Health insurance, $579.12. Water and sewer, $50,931.71. Sanitary sewers, $11,118.64. Heritage, $61,538.90. Retiree health insurance, $42,115.61, for a grand total all funds of $1,779,946.16. Next, I have a request for an ordinance of the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, establishing an investment policy for other post-employment benefit funds. And finally, I have a request for approval to go out to bid for the Village of Alsip other post-employment benefits trust investment services. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
I don't have anything to add from
No,
what I
Joyce, I
presented.
think your report looked good. It gave a good outline of what we're going to get involved in here, yeah. Thank you. Next, we'll have the Fire Committee report, trustee Murphy.
I have a presentation and approval of the Fire Department's 2021 annual report, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Chief, nice job on your report. I was reading over, I've got it here in front of me here, as far as your call volume and so forth. Can you briefly tell the board what what all that was, just so at home they know too?
So we hit 3,724 calls last year. The biggest year, 3 years ago, I think we hit the 3,600 mark. So right now, as of today, we are 92 calls ahead of where we were at last year already.
Okay.
So we're already climbing up from last year. Last year started off slow, and then we went out in gangbusters, and this year's been gangbusters the whole time.
So I was looking at the report here, so emergency medical calls and rescue, including car accidents, you had about almost 2,600 calls on that. You only had 20 fire structure calls, which is always good to hear. You know.
Yeah, we're usually between 15 and 20 every year.
23 vehicle fires, 23 like grass or garbage fires and stuff like that. Chief, I missed in here though, what ballpark, do you know, remember what the estimated loss of property cost?
Not off the top of my head. I did
see it in here, that's all.
I think it's in the end of the year report, and our biggest loss last year was the apartment building on Alpine was our biggest loss for fire last year,
Okay.
at one time.
Right. Hazardous condition calls with gas leaks and whatnot, you had about 119 calls. Service calls and good intent calls, meaning canceled while en route. Mutual aid responses and whatnot, 441 calls on that. And then false calls, being false alarms, smoke detectors, and so forth. You had over 419 of those, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, the boards are familiar. We didn't have a ton of, when I say a ton, not a lot of injuries or anything like that, but you had maybe three worse than most, you
Yep.
know? And right now, how are we staffed right now, Chief?
I have one lieutenant that's still off right now. He should be back around, I believe, the 13th of this month. He's on sick time right now. Our one injured lieutenant that's been off since last March came back 3 shifts ago, so he's all good to go.
And you got the ladder truck back after being out of service, or was that a pump?
It was the engine, yeah, waiting for the one little bolt from the springs. Sat there for 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yep.
I told Chief Rickard we could have made the darn thing at
Yeah,
that much time and stuff.
Pretty
there
much.
too, you
Just
know,
that's
so-
the way the supply chain is right now. I mean,
Right.
they don't want to keep it any longer because it's taking up valuable space that they can't make money on.
Yeah,
you know,
nobody can
bringing
find a
somebody else in.
U-bolt to hang on to the rear end of a
Yep.
fire truck and
That's
stuff.
all it
yet,
was,
too.
one little boat.
That's great.
Yep.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Trustee Murphy, anything else?
No, sir, that's it.
Okay. Then we'll have the police and traffic safety report. Trustee Dalzell.
Have the approval of the January 2022 Police Department Monthly Activity Report, the approval of the 2021 Police Department Annual Report with the social media impacts, the approval to send 2 officers to the 2022 Women in Criminal Justice Conference. It's being conducted April 12th through the 13th, 2022 in Bloomington, Illinois. Cost is $225 per person, includes 1 night hotel accommodation, and the cost is within the budget. The approval to purchase 4 patrol Dodge Durangos from Thomas Dodge. That's through the Southwest Conference of Mayors pricing. The amount of $137,900, which is $34,475 apiece. Vehicles are expected to arrive at the dealer at the end of March, and the funds are available for the purchase. And finally, the approval to outfit 4 patrol vehicles at a cost not to exceed $49,000. That amount is also budgeted for, and their intention is to repurpose any and all equipment as possible. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the Public Work and Boat Launch Report. Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval to award the bid for parkway tree removals to Desiderio Landscaping LLC, 17258 East 1200 North Road in Grant Park, Illinois. Desiderio Landscaping submitted the lowest bid in the amount of $32,514. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. You know, Danny Tribun's here from Water Department. Dan, anything, we're about 3 weeks out from opening up the boat launch, and so like April 1st. Anything that you notice, any heads up, we need to do anything? Okay. So we we can get the water going, but I mean, we got the gate closed right now, and I didn't actually have an access key with me, but I went and looked at it last week and so forth. But facilities look great, and I don't see an issue with any of that over there, so.
I think Mike has some, property maintenance issues he's
Okay, just a couple of property maintenance issues, okay. Thanks, Dan. Next, we have the sewer and water report, trustee Nava Esparza.
Thank you. I have the presentation and approval of the January 2022 Water Department Monthly Activity Report. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Building and Health, trustee Parada.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a presentation and a request for approval of the February 2022 Health Department Monthly Activity Report. In that report, there were 30 complaints, 6 inspections, and 24 citations. Next, I have a presentation and a request for approval of the February 2022 Building Department Monthly Activity Report. In that report, there were 37 permits issued. The amount collected, including inspector fees, were $15,868, and the estimated cost of construction is valued at $2,583,725. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Always good to hear a lot of construction still taking place and so forth here. Just so everybody knows too, building commissioner finally took some vacation time this week, but there is coverage here. If anybody needs anything, please let Melanie know over in the building department. But I've been pushing him forever to take a day off, and finally he took a week off and stuff, so good for him. Next, the Human Resource and Insurance Committee, trustee Murphy.
I have no report, Mayor.
Okay. Then we'll go to our special committee reports, Economic Development, trustee Nava Esparza.
Thank you. I have no items to be voted on, but just to provide an update for those that haven't driven past Pulaski. I did see the walls go up with the Firewater property.
I
a
saw the
crane.
material over the weekend. I didn't see the walls go up yet,
Yes.
though. Yeah.
I believe there are walls, right? The
Yeah.
frame? Okay.
The roof trusses are out there and all that, yeah.
Yes. Construction's not my background, so I figure that they are the walls. But yeah, so if you haven't driven past there, feel free to, of course, check it out. And I like cranes and all that good stuff, so I enjoyed seeing that go up. My child takes Taekwondo classes next door, so I get to see it every day.
Nice.
That's all I have.
My assistant Becky told me, right tonight, 5 o'clock, she told me she got a phone call, a very good one, actually, from an interested party looking at the Chateau Boucher. So, good to hear. I was really, the party that she told me about, I was actually, I don't know the gentleman personally, but I know who he is. And if that goes down, if that takes place, it's a good, that'll be a good partner. Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. So next, we had the, where am I at? Village Properties, trustee McGlawhorn.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Then we'll go to ordinance and legislation, trustee Parada.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a request for approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving Class 6B assessment status for the real estate located at 4134 West 127th Street in the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois. And the PIN numbers associated with this ordinance are as follow. It's 24274010118 quadruple 0. 2427401-023 quadruple 0, and finally 2427401-049 quadruple 0. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. We'll go to planning and zoning and the licenses, trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of a list of licenses dated February 14th, 2022 through February 25th, 2022. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Did anyone have any presentations, petitions, or communications they want to share? None? Did anyone want to remove anything from the consent agenda? None? Then can I get a motion to establish the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish consent agenda, trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McGlawhorn.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza.
Yes.
Trustee Parada.
Yes.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a motion then and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, before we do roll call, item A, approval of an ordinance annexing approximately 1.73 acres of territory to the village of Alsip, County of Cook, State of Illinois, will now be known as Ordinance 2022-03-1. Item G as in George, approval of a resolution for a request made to the County of Cook, Illinois for Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds for program year 2022 in the amount of $400,000 for the 2022 street resurfacing will now be known as Resolution 2022-03-R-1. Item H, approval of a resolution for the acknowledgement of future local match funds in the amount of $103,600 for the Costner Avenue STP improvements from 123rd Street to 127th Street will now be known as Resolution 2022-03-R-2. Item I, approval of a resolution of the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, authorizing the execution of an application for the Invest in Cook Grant Program will now be known as Resolution 2022-03-R-3. Item L, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, establishing an investment policy for other post-employment benefit funds will now be known as Ordinance 2022-03-2. And finally, item R as in Robert, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving Class 6B assessment status for the real estate located at 4134 West 127th Street, PIN numbers 24-27-401-018-0000, 24-27-401-023-0000, and 24-27-401-409-0000 in the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, will now be known as Ordinance 2022-03-3. Roll call number 2 to approve consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McGlaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navas Barza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
Thank you. Did anybody have any unfinished business? How about any new business? You know, before we adjourn, I'd really be remiss if I didn't bring it up. Obviously, please say a prayer and keep all those folks in Ukraine in your thoughts and prayers. It just breaks my heart watching everything that's going on in their country right now. And it's hard enough to watch the suffering that they're going through, but I bet their families, even here, are struggling watching that, not to mention physically watching that, where their hearts are just being broken around the world. It's just a horrible thing that's going on over there right now. And I can respect our government is doing what it can, and especially those folks in Poland that are taking in all these refugees. And it's just horrible to watch these nice families being broken up and being welcomed into, and hopefully everybody's treating them well in Poland and whatnot yet too, or wherever it is that they're going. But please, I don't want to get too far into it. I'm totally attached to this thing, but let's just keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and let's wish the best for the best outcome, if there is one yet too, okay? Can I get a motion, please, to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're going to adjourn this meeting at 8:11 PM. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mr. Critch, nice meeting you too, sir.